live with the Jones Hour, baby.
Big
How we
facts.
doing with everybody?
You know we chilling. How you doing, my G?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. We living.
Facts.
I had a good week, bro. Can't complain.
Yeah, nah, me neither. And it's a beautiful day outside. I don't know if you've been
It's fucking.
outside yet.
It's gorgeous. It's
It's like
gorgeous.
65.
It's
It's like
gorgeous.
65, America. Well, NYC, and I'm feeling in the righteous behavior. I mean, I gotta get shit done, but we are chilling, and it is another Sunday. You live with us, Jones Hour. Tap in now for the introductions. The one and only editor producer, my friends and yours, and Acid.
Hey.
Hey.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. And to my left, or usually to my left, all right, is the one and only Jonesy 2 times, ladies and gentlemen. Jonesy
Those
2 times.
Those verses.
Jones. We doing it, dog.
Okay. It's another week. I think we got to get right into it. I think we got to just get right into it, man, because World Baseball Classic got me hyped. It got me fucking hyped. You know what I mean? Like, as a player, you know, I had to bring out my Yankee shit because I don't even have World Baseball Classic gear and shit. But, you know, it's the introduction of the time. You know what I mean? We're coming into the baseball season. It's about to start. You know what I mean? Big expectations in New York. But, I mean, aside from that, like, this is like the Olympics of baseball, the World Cup of baseball. You know what I mean? It's something that we've never really had up until this, started maybe about 10 to 20 years ago or something like that. You know what I mean? And I like it. You know what I mean? I love the competition. I love, people put it on for their countries. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different. We see regular players. Obviously, there's MLB players on different country teams and whatnot, but there's a different passion that comes for that when you're playing for your country as opposed to playing for your team. And not saying that like players don't go hard or nothing like that, but it's like, that nationalism, on a good vibe thing though. That we're speaking of with these players that are representing, DR and Nicaragua, Panama, Netherlands, Britain, China, Japan, Israel, Brazil, so many teams. Puerto Rico, I can't even front on Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? Canada, America. You know what I mean? It's like 20 teams. And it's a big thing. It's a big tournament. And I mean, maybe that you could have a little bit of like arguing with the timing as it's starting like right before the season of MLB, and we've seen like prior where Edwin Diaz, got hurt for Puerto Rico against DR in that game, and he wound up missing a lot of time against for the Mets, years back, the last time this went down. But, this year it's different. And I mean, it's not different with the possibility of injuries, but I mean, when you see these lineups, when you see these teams, DR's lineup is crazy. Let me look at that. My man sent it to me, in the chat, but Fernando Tatis Jr., Ketel Marte, Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Manny Machado, Julio Rodriguez, Austin Wells, even from the Yankees. You know what I mean? Caminero. Their only hole was maybe shortstop with Gonzalez, and honestly, like, they could have maybe did better with like Ellie De Cruz, who I'm always big on. I'm a big fan of. You know what I mean? And maybe they could have put him on, but maybe he didn't want to or whatever. Who knows what it is? But I mean, like that lineup is stacked. You know what I mean? And not only that, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna come down to these three teams clearly: Japan, DR, and America. You know what I mean? Japan, DR, and America. It's gonna be between those three that's gonna win it. You know what I mean? Those are
there's
the
no
dominating.
doubt about that, bro.
Those are the teams that have, you know, that are dominating, that have the most MLB players. Even though Britain, like even yesterday, if you've seen the America Britain game, which you know took place in America, like Britain started off, they led off the game with a home run. You know, first pitch, literally. You know what I mean? And this is against Scooble. Scooble was like, I don't know if he was Cy Young last year, but he was definitely close. He definitely got votes for it. And you know, Scooble, you know, going into this, they was like, oh, he's gonna only pitch this one game, and you know, that's it. You know what I mean? Just to, you know, kind of represent. But like yesterday, that stadium was buzzing. You know what I mean? And not to really put too much politics into, you know, sports and whatnot, but the temperature of America right now is real high and things like that. And we, as probably citizens and fans and just ordinary people, we want something that's good coming out of America to stand up for and get behind. And, you know, this is like good timing for that, especially even after the Olympics as well, the Winter Olympics. You know, maybe this is something they'll continue to do and keep it on this flow, even though I think this is baseball classic goes every 3 years and not every 4. But maybe this is something they'll keep pace with, you know, with the Winter Olympics and things like that. But like,
I mean,
like,
and not to jump into politics in general, but like,
yeah, no, I don't want
like,
to, but I'm just saying, like,
it's one of those things. No, you're totally
the
right.
stadium yesterday
you're
was crazy. Anything America did, the USA team, it was like you would think it's a fucking playoff World Series game. That was the atmosphere that I seen in this stadium. And this is like the preliminaries, nigga.
I understand it, but it's not something I feel comfortable with being part of, because the deeper we get, talking about, I don't want to get into politics, but the deeper we get into a fascist state, I don't want to be, you know, basically that's just encouragement. You know what I mean? You know, like that's just nationalism right there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
If we're doing some crazy Nazi shit in the streets and our government's doing some crazy shit and we're being we're doing some nationalist shit, then it just makes us really like look bad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like,
no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, people are looking for something to get behind. I feel
no, 100%. You want to, you know, people want something to be optimistic about. You know what I mean?
Word.
Reason to like this country.
Facts. So, but yeah, man, it's fucking lit. You know what I mean? That Japan team with Otani, they putting up numbers, you know, and they got a bunch of players like, you know, from America that's on the team. You know what I mean? And then Cuba got a team. Cuba's nice. I think they're playing right now and they're winning. You know what I mean? Let me see the scores. Let me see if I go to home page. Let me see. Oh, I'm gonna have to close it out. Let's see, but there we go. Maybe
Sunday, March 8th. Right now it is 2:58 p.m. So that means Great Britain.
Oh, Italy and Britain, yeah,
are playing now.
Yeah, and Panama,
and
Canada, does Nicaragua, Israel, Brazil, Mexico.
Does Clay's little brother still play on that team?
Clay who? Clay Thompson?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, I think he reps Great Britain.
Oh, word. He might.
Was it?
Well, this guy from the Yankees, Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm is on Great Britain.
Is it Trace or Brace? I think it's.
Oh, I don't know.
Look this up.
But yeah, it's been good. And then you've seen there's also been some good times where you say like, when the Yankees played Brazil, you know what I mean? You had a fucking 17-year-old kid pitching for Brazil that came into the game, and he's going against Aaron Judge and wind up getting Aaron Judge to ground out into a double play. You know what I mean? That was big. You know, like then you seen another kid yesterday for Britain who's like he plays single A ball right now. He's a single A player, but you know he made the Britain team. You know because he's representing for his heritage and whatnot. And he comes in and strikes out the side. You know what I mean? Of Trace, good shit. And strikes out the side. You know what I mean? Of U.S. players. And like when you look at the U.S. team, like obviously we got monsters on there. You know what I mean? We got nice players on, you know?
Yeah.
So we can't even like front like they're they're just at an average team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm all for it. I like it. I love the World Baseball Classic. I've liked it from the jump. You know what I mean? This is also where we got a lot of to see a lot of Cuban players. You know what I mean? Because like the whole Cuban thing defecting to come over here to play and whatnot. So seeing their talent. One thing about this World Baseball Classic, we're gonna see players that were on different teams from different colored countries that maybe you didn't know about, or even teams themselves didn't know about their talent and whatnot. And now that they're on this world display, you know what I mean, of being able to showcase who they are, they're gonna get looks, they're gonna get signs, they're gonna get tryouts at the least. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And teams are gonna be like, oh wow, this person could really help us out right now. You know what I mean?
It's definitely flawed to the degree of all right, the players have to be insured, you know. So there's a lot of technical difficulties when it comes down to that's the reason why the US team is nowhere near stacked compared to DR or Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a couple other teams too that had a really hard time. You know, like Panama had a really hard time. There's a couple other countries that had really hard times just getting people insured. You know,
Yeah.
and
I
the
seen
thing
that.
yeah, and the logistics on insuring a player, it just makes no sense. No insurance company is going to make money off of this. You know, there's no win in it because it's like a short term thing. You know, so it's not necessarily an insurance company wants to do that. So but it seems like they're like DR and Japan, they had no problems. You
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
had no problems.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little sus, you know,
Yeah.
but I mean that's just where we are with baseball culture. You can't have a World Baseball Classic and not have DR in Japan right now.
No, yeah. And a bunch of other teams too. You know what I mean? Like Venezuela, like Puerto Rico. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of talented players come up from there all the time. Cuba.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Latin America runs baseball right about now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Aside from Japan, and
Yeah.
Chinese Taipei and shit like that. You know what I mean? Taiwan, they have some players as well. But I mean, it's gonna be exciting. It's a good prelude to the season. I mean, aside from just your regular spring training and whatnot, I guess this would be considered the spring training for a lot of these players. And the thing about it is you see Judge, he's hitting, he's smacking shit. In terms of a Yankee perspective, I'm kind of happy that he's playing at this level, kind of this early, so that when he comes to the season, he's ready already. He's already in mid-season mode, and we're only in April and May. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ready to go and on all cylinders. Because I mean, I don't even to the point that it's not even an argument anymore. Aaron Judge is probably the best player in baseball. You know what I mean?
No.
It's not
We've
Ohtani.
this
But I
wasn't
mean,
this wasn't a debate.
yeah, I
We
mean, he hits for crazy average, has crazy power numbers. Defensively is like a monster, got a gun in right
yeah.
field. It's not like you're just gonna run on him and you don't fucking rob home runs at the wall type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stop it. You know what I mean? He's a complete player. You know what I mean? He's a beast. And as we get into the preparation for the Yankee season, I mean, as we've come along, I think prior to the season, there was these question marks of why moves weren't made, especially when you think about the AL East and all the other moves that so many other teams have made, like Boston and Baltimore and Tampa. You know what I mean? And everybody, Toronto, everybody in the East AL made some sort of move or pickup and things like that. Some made multiple when you look at Boston and shit like that. But to try to get better, and I think this is going to be one of the most competitive seasons that we've seen from this division in a while. Where it might only be 1 or 2 teams, if that make it, because it's going to be so tight, and teams are going to be stealing wins. You know what I mean? I don't think there's going to really be a sure win team in it. Like when you look at the past, maybe every time you play Tampa or every time you play Baltimore, they was the last place team, and you're looking at what should be an easy victory or whatnot, or a sweep in a series.
A level competition.
Facts. But yeah, the level of competition is going to be at a high that we haven't seen in a while in the EL East. You know what I'm seeing in terms of all teams. But I'm getting more confident of us. Just keeping the same team together. Getting Bellinger, keeping Goldschmidt, getting that Cole comeback. Getting some other players back from injury. The emergence of that we've seen so far from Ben Rice in this spring training so far, with the way he's been hitting and whatnot. Even Spencer Jones as well. I mean, he's been hitting bombs. You know what I mean? And he's not necessarily a hit for average guy, but when he gets a hold of one, it's probably a home run. You know what I mean? And maybe even someone we consider when the inevitable Giancarlo Stanton injury comes. You know what I mean? Because he looks like he's going to get hurt at some point in the season, like every season. You know what I mean? So we have some backup pieces. We have
the inevitable Stanton injury.
Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, the inevitable. I mean,
that he blames, by the way, on using the torpedo bat.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. His elbow, though, is like an elbow thing.
Yeah. He blames it on like the change in the rotation. So like the drastic change in his rotation when using the different bat.
Well,
basically,
that was his own choice.
Yeah, it ruined his shit. I think that's fucking insane.
I think it's insane too. I think it's. I mean,
so for right after that, he had that little blip where it was like he was the shit. You know what I mean? Like he was fucking crushing for a little bit, and then he just fell off a fucking cliff. Like he fucked his shit up.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. He got to get it together, though. He got to get it together. So because we do rely on him. You know what I mean? Because of his hitting, and when you think about his numbers, when you look back at all the seasons and what he's done, even with the lack of games that he's played, in those games that he's played, his numbers are, crazy. You know what I mean? Can say, oh, you only played 70 games. Yeah, but you hit 24 home runs in 70 games. That's one every other game type shit. Every 3 games, 2 games. When you think about the breakdown by numbers. That means every 3-game series that you go against somebody, you hitting 1 home run. When you really think about it. So it's like we want him in that spot. We want him in that DH position, but he also can't run. He can't play the field, so Spencer Jones would be somebody I think that could fit in right in that spot. You know what I mean? Even Dominguez, I mean, if we're not going to use him I'm a fan of Dominguez. I like him. I like his game. I think he's, so young and raw, and, just, his potential is, through the roof, in my opinion, but it don't look like he's going to have a spot on this team anywhere unless there's an injury, barring. Let's knock on wood and hope that don't happen. But if we're not going to use him, we might as well trade him. And at this point, we got one of the best minor league system right now in terms of ranked players. You know what I mean? And where they're at. When you think of like maybe the top 100, prospects and whatnot. So bless you. So let's go Yankees, man. Let's go fucking DR. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Let's go Yankees and let's go DR. I think I would love to see a DR Japan championship. Facts.
Oh yeah.
And
with that being said, the Mets are leading 7-4 against the Yankees.
Yeah.
In the top of the 6th. So I'll take that.
I mean, like 12 of our players right now is in the World Baseball Classic, so it's like
word.
You know what I mean? But y'all got a bunch of players as well too, in terms of even in your minor league system and whatnot. You know,
Oh yeah,
so I mean, and that's what I meant. That's what I meant. That's what I was talking about when I'm talking about players being on display and whatnot. Like that single A kid that struck out the sign yesterday against USA, he probably would never get his chance, never even have gotten a look in his life. You know what I mean? In terms of if he didn't, prove it in the lower ranks and start coming up to like, double in AAA. You know what I mean? But the fact that he did that, he might have, earned himself a spot in with some of these higher minor league systems. You know what I mean? Or at least a tryout or a chance. And that's what you hope for. As an athlete, especially when you're that young. And then the Mets. I mean, they're on paper a better team. You know what I mean? They've made the improvements. I mean, I know Met fans is, a little annoyed at times about, what gets done. But when you think about it, like they got better. I mean, maybe not completely better. There are some, like at the closer position, you know what I mean? Like you're using Devin Williams. I think there's a reason why the Yankees let go of Devin Williams, even though he looked to be a big signing. But honestly, he hasn't been the same pitcher since he gave up that home run to Pete Alonso in the playoffs for Milwaukee,
Yeah.
And who knows what you're going to get with him. I mean, he already came in spring trading in a safe position and first pitch home run type shit, first batter home run type shit. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't really have that, necessarily as nailed down as you would hope or you would like, you know what I mean? But you also got this kid McDonald, I think his name is, that's a starter that, I mean, he has Cy Young potential like right now. You know what I mean? Like this season, so it's a prove it now. It's a prove it now time. You know what I mean? Or at least let's prove it where we've already thought we've improved at, so that you can now maybe by the trade deadline fill in some holes or pick up some players that could now be an everyday player at a position or a spot where now you're looking to compete and make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because I mean, maybe the Phillies fell off. Maybe they're not the same team, but Atlanta did it. Atlanta got better. You know what I mean? So Atlanta is looking to be probably the front runner of the NL East going into the season, but that's only because there's so many question marks. Oh yeah, around the Mets. That's right. Go ahead, bro. And because there's so many
Braves, bro.
Yeah, fuck the Braves. I feel you. But because there's so many question marks around the Mets, we don't know yet. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. But that's also the beauty of it coming in. You know what I mean? If like you're a real fan and like, I mean, some people are just realists when they come to fans, and I get it. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna call the spade a spade, but there's also some sort of sometimes like optimism that you gotta have. You know what I mean? That you need to have hope, you know what I mean? And faith in your team and belief going in, you know what I mean?
Word.
And things come around, players step up, people get better that you didn't know, or even expect to happen. And boom, you know what I mean? It's a different expectation all of a sudden. And you fall in love. That's right. And you get to fall in love with your team all over again. That's exactly right. Facts. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Word up. Shout out to the people that have checked in already on the IG. You already know we live every Sunday, hopefully at 2:30, and on IG and YouTube. You know what I mean? Soon coming to other streaming platforms as well.
Word. Shout out to you. Shout out to you guys.
Facts. And now let's should we get into NBA now?
Yeah. You want to get right into basketball, bro?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Baloncesto? Baloncesto?
That's right. For those that don't habla español, baloncesto means basketball.
Baloncesto?
Yes.
Baloncesto?
Bringing it back. Yep. Shout out to Young Kush. Shout out to Young Kush, my firstborn. My firstborn son.
All right, so Knicks and Dimes.
Brought to you by us.
There you go.
We here, man. We here, man. Ain't Acid, Jonesy 2 times. Those vessels dropping that Nick knowledge on this segment of Knicks and Dimes. I think last week, facts, we gonna do that. Last week, let me bring up the Knicks schedule. Last week, we was talking about the schedule for the Knicks and how it's like one of the hardest after the All-Star break, how many teams were actually playing that are above 500, having a West Coast trip that is against quality opponents, and coming out of the All-Star break, losing again to Detroit. You know what I mean? And I think we had, well, what version of the Knicks are we going to get? Who is going to be maybe the catalyst that could save us or bring us to where we need to be? You know what I mean? Because right after the All-Star break, we lost to Detroit. Then we beat Houston with a 18-point comeback. Then and then we beat the Knicks. We are the Knicks. Then we beat the Bulls. But then we lose to the Cavs, and we see Harden in them, and they come through and give us problems. But then we spank the Bucks, dominate the Spurs, dominate the Raptors, but then we lose in a close one to the Thunder, where we had 2 opportunities at the end of the game for game-tying threes, to send it to at least overtime. But, we don't make those. But then we spanked the Nuggets by almost 40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when we look at this stretch, this is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. And I believe we're 6-3 in these last 9 games. You know what I mean? With losses to the Thunder, the Cavs, and the Pistons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're there. Those are quality opponents. Those are quality teams. Those are good teams that we can't take for granted. But when we also beat the Nuggets, the Raptors, the Spurs, you know what I mean, the Rockets, you know what I mean, those are also quality teams. You know what I mean? And also teams that, hold weight, and we spanked them. Like, those were dominating wins. Those were not like really close games. Those are games that we had our foot on their necks. You know what I mean? It was applying pressure.
Yeah, dog. Like to go into the Western Conference and to listen, if we didn't blow a 15-point lead in that OKC game, like we would have went into the West Coast and literally dominated the 3 best teams in the Western Conference. Like spanked them clearly. All to different levels. But if we held that 15, if we held that lead, we would have clearly have just gone in there and destroyed. And this is coming out of, the Spurs going into Detroit and embarrassing Detroit, so like I look at it like a little bit of redemption. I wish we could do it against a team like Detroit. We can have a stretch where we're going against Detroit, going against the Cavs, going against the Celtics, all 3 back, and going and dominating those games, but getting in the West Coast, I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. Not only that, like taking like the series from the Nuggets, like Jokic at the end of that game did not look happy, bro. Like he literally was like, are you serious? Like clearly in the middle of it, he was like, oh, fuck. Like,
it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It was big games from OG. You know what I mean? Solid game from Towns. I think Towns has when he's going against other bigs, he looks to step up. You know what I mean? Against those other
you brought it up. You brought it up last week. You brought it up last week, and I totally agree with you. He definitely does play Jokic very, very well.
Yeah, he does.
I don't even think that should be a question. Like, he plays Jokic incredibly well. You know,
Yeah,
he seems to
he
be
said.
putting that work in, bro.
Yeah, but also how you said last week, when it comes down to it, like, yeah, even with Detroit or whatever, like we how it was with Boston last year, how they spanked us through the regular season, but when it came to the playoffs, we could do them in. Same thing with Detroit this year,
Yeah,
and I'm expecting that, and Karl Anthony Towns, like we said it last week, he's gonna be a catalyst, man. He's gonna be one of those ones that's gonna be like a lot of our success is gonna be determined on his play. You know what I mean? Because it's not necessarily always on Brunson. Because even with these stretch of games, we've seen some games where Brunson wasn't the normal Brunson we were seeing in terms of like
absolutely.
scoring, but was able to do other things like high assist
Yeah,
games. He's had 7, he had 15, he had 13
yeah.
assists in games,
Last
and then
night
he
he had a
also had,
crazy assist total, but yeah, he did
and then
not.
he
He did
also,
not go
but
heavy into fucking points.
but he's also drawn a lot of charges in these games
Mm-hmm.
as well. He's also drawn a lot of charges, forcing those turnovers on defense where maybe he lacks, on certain things. Though that's one thing that he could still do. You know what I mean? And then, with these additions that we've got, especially with Alvarado, you know what I mean? Bridges, the way he's been playing as well, I think has been able to take off some of the pressure from Brunson, where he could also now, even though doesn't have the scoring game that we anticipate from him, night in and night out, he still knows that, his team is there, people are going to pick up, and things like that. Mitch is big. Hopefully, I mean, obviously when the playoffs come, there's not going to be no fucking minutes restriction anymore. At least there better not be, with Mitchell Robinson. Like, I want him to play every single game in the playoffs. Don't tell me he has to sit out now. You know what I mean?
Oh no, fuck no. Like,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that,
yeah. Like,
on and that the game, our last game against the Nugs, like, in the first quarter alone, he ended up getting off 4 alley oops,
yeah.
and his shits look nasty, bro.
Mhm. Yeah, he's beast,
You
man. He's
know,
beast. Like, when he's on the
always
court
is gonna be
playing
a
in the
threat.
game, it's a completely different team.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. It's a big fact.
It's
And then
it's fucking huge when you know what, too, especially this season, since he's come back from injury, like at the tail end of last season, I like, we saw it, but like, I feel like Mitch is at, like if he was a Pokemon, this is his final form. You know what I mean?
where
Like he's definitely, like, size wise, he's like 3 times the size from from when we drafted him, bro. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah, no,
mean?
yeah, no,
Like,
he got his brother. He's gotten brother. Like, you could see
he's
it.
gotten
Like, yeah.
brolic, bro. Like, he's
Mhm.
gotten fucking big, and the shit's fucking fun and easy to him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
Outside, barring us from injury or any of that other shit, I'm not gonna take that away from him. But, like, bro, like,
When he's on, like I said, yeah, when he's there, beast, cooking,
yeah,
eating,
bro.
facts. Yeah, man. Now, as I look through it, I was looking ahead for some of the games left because do you
Yeah,
know
we're
our
going
standing?
into
What's our
a
record?
little bit of
41 and
a
23. So that means we had 64 games. So that means there's 18 games left.
uh-huh.
18 games. Out of those 18, I want to see some. We play the Lakers today, quality opponent. Clippers, I don't know if they're still quality. Warriors at home,
Looking through
quality
this,
opponent.
we
Hornets,
have
Thunder,
one
Rockets,
OKC game.
Celtics.
That
Yep.
that should be the only game that we lose.
I mean, we
And
play
the
Boston
Rockets.
also.
If yes, all right. So Boston, sorry about that. I didn't
Boston.
scroll that down that long.
Yeah.
That low. But yeah, OKC, Boston, and Rockets. Out of all
Yeah.
those games,
Should be our toughest.
it should definitely be our toughest. But
And
in
the Lakers
general,
today.
though, like,
And the Lakers today. Those are the hardest games we got left now. After this, like, this is what we was talking about, this stretch last week, and not knowing what we're gonna be, and not knowing which Knicks team is gonna show up, or even a version of Karl Anthony Towns that's gonna show up. You know what I mean? Because we've seen some of these. He goes 5 for 5 in a game, we get spanked. Then there's another game where it's like you're 7 for 8, but you don't shoot no more, and then we get spanked again. It's like,
mhm.
you have to. Your your offense also facilitates and able to open up things for other players to do what they do. You know what I mean? And then so when you don't take advantage of what you're able to do within our offense, it has a trickle down effect to other players that we need to also get involved for us to, win games and hold this position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now when we look at the standings, we a game and a half now behind the Celtics. You know what I mean? Which, we'd play at the 6th seed. We probably play the Magic if the season were to end right now. Magic, a solid team. They're, no team to, take for granted. But like we should beat them, but now we're gonna have a crash course with the Celtics now. And now that they're the 2 seed and we're the 3 seed, we're gonna have to play them there. We're gonna have to beat them there. And that was the difference from last year in terms of us having the home court, and the way we played. We prided ourselves on trying to get that home court. You know what I mean? This year, I think there was a big expectation also from fans and players that the Knicks could have been the number 1 seed. I don't think nobody really have foreseen Pistons and what they was able to do, or even the Celtics even being a contender at this point. And now they just got Tatum back. You know what I mean? They got Tatum back. He's fucking 3 assists shy from a triple-double in just 27 minutes of play in his first game back in 10 months. You know what I mean?
So Celtics in a very similar situation. Very almost mirror-like. Their biggest threats would be the T-Wolves, us, and OKC, and their final stretch. They seem to be going against the easy row, and I mean, I guess you could say the Hornets now. They go against the Hornets twice.
So do us.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess we also have to consider the Hornets a threat these days.
Yeah. Like that's what I said. Last week. Last week they was below 500. Now they're at 500. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're also 7-3 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
A team like the Sixers is falling. They're 4-6 in their last 10. Raptors are 5-5 in their last 10. So these games again, obviously they're important in terms of like standings and position and not being out of the playing and things like that. I wonder what the Hornets schedule is.
I'll look it up.
I got it right now already. They play the Suns today.
Is it important?
Nah, I don't know. He tried to video call me.
Oh, who that?
My pops.
Got you.
But
does he want to call into the show?
Hold on, let me know. Let's find out. Hello? I'm gonna call you on the WhatsApp. Pick up. Okay. Well, we'll see what's up.
Well,
let's just open the
line.
line.
The number up on the screen right now.
Calling me. What's up? Oh, you're going to the game? Oh, live from the Knicks game. You also live on the Jones Hour. It's LinkedIn. We on, baby. Oh, shit. Ray, what up, baby?
What up, Ray?
Chilling. Oh, yeah.
That's what's up.
Big NY vibes. Big NY vibes at on the West Coast. I like it.
Yeah. Right. Check it out. Feel the vibe.
Oh, yeah. I don't even. That's not even the crypto arena, right? Should have been the
crypto arena.
Word. Should have been the Staples Center still. That's where legends were made.
You need to come next year.
Yeah. We need to do an on location Jones Hour on the West Coast.
All right.
You feel that?
We could do that now. Remember?
I said we're gonna do an on location West Coast episode of the Jones Hour.
Yeah.
All right, Pops. Let me let you go, man. I'm gonna let you go, B. Oh, he gotta go. Fucking up the flow. He gotta go. But yeah, man. Look at that. Pop's going to the game today. Knicks Lakers in LA. You know what I mean? At least we know we got good representation today in the fucking game. Good vibe, good juju over there. You know what I mean? To bring it home for us. He should go to the Clippers game too now. The next one also. Yeah. When I went to Cali, I seen the Clippers game. I went to the Clippers game when they had Blake and them, Paul and fucking DeAndre Jordan. You know what I mean? Against the Cavs.
It would be smart. It would be very smart to do so. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Clippers and the Clippers tickets is way cheaper than the fucking Lakers. Word up.
I bet.
Word. Oh, but we was on the Hornets.
The Nets compared to the Knicks type shit, you know?
Yeah, we was on the Hornets. Let's see how many big games they got left.
I'm just crushing these.
Oh, they got the Spurs, Magic, Knicks twice, Celtics, Timberwolves, Pistons. Oh, the Hornets. Hornets got some tough games. Hornets got some tough games to end the season. But I mean, I got faith in them. Like I've already been seeing, like you seen on the TikToks out here. You know what I mean? So we'll be watching for next week, man. Next week we'll be updating and see where the fucking Knicks stand, where the Hornets stand, where the rest of the teams in the NBA stand as we get closer to the end of the season, and teams vying for position to either get into the play-in, get out of the play-in, or just hold some home court as they get through it. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Let's transition into the big trade, NFL.
All right.
Big trade in the NFL. Max Crosby from the Raiders goes to the Ravens in Baltimore. Man. Yeah, there you go. Man. That's you, man. On the Raiders, but they give up 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks. There hasn't been too many teams or too many players that were actually given up for first-round picks, But when you think about it, that's big for Baltimore. You know what I mean? Because it was clear they was gonna. Obviously, it was between Harbaugh and Lamar. You know what I mean? They made their decision. They let Harbaugh walk. They kept Lamar there. You know what I mean? Lamar is the 2-time MVP or 3-time MVP at this point. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna just let a quarterback walk away. You know what I mean? But you also now add a player like Max Crosby, add a player that's able to now get these sack totals that, someone on the defensive line of Baltimore hasn't seen in about 10 years. I don't think they've had a player that's had more than like 8 or 9, 10 sacks in a season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got Crosby coming in who's getting like 15 sacks a season, almost 1 a game, you know what I mean? Causing problems for offensive lines all over the place. I know Joe Burrow is going to be worried now. You know what I mean? When you think about Cincinnati having to go against this guy now 2 times a year, But, also now when you look at it in the Raiders perspective, now they have a first-round pick next year, and they're getting the 14th pick this year. You know what I mean? So now not only do they have the first pick, the number 1 pick, but now they also have the 14th pick as well. So, I mean, it's already clear that they're taking Mendoza, the quarterback, at the number 1 pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now this 14th pick adds some options for them, in terms of what they could do, and what they could possibly bring to the table, and
adding just pieces in general, like
building
blocks.
Yeah, building around and maybe there is a top wide receiver that's out there. You know what I mean? Like they already got Ashton Genty, they already got Brock Bowers, tight end and running back. Maybe there's a top, maybe you go and get a player to replace Crosby. And you get an edge rusher and whatnot.
Word.
I think this is a good draft for edge rushers. You know what I mean? So you get an edge rusher, and now you're getting him at half the cost. You know what I mean? Half the cost of what Crosby was going to be. or is on your books. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
now that frees up money. So now that you could go and do another thing, you know, possibly, and fill up another hole on your roster where now you could, you know, start taking the steps to being a competitive team, a team that
Yep.
we could anticipate to see in the playoffs and, you know, possibly make moves. I mean, you know, they're in the Chiefs division, you know what I mean? And you got the Chargers and the Broncos that are coming up, you know what I mean? So you got to do something if you really want to be competitive in that division, you know? If not, then you're
Yeah.
just going to be a team that sells out only when a big traveling team comes, like the Cowboys, you know what I mean? That has fucking fans all over the country and shit.
I think they're gonna sell out no matter what. You know, Vegas.
Not if they're gonna put out a quality team, no. No, I don't
I
think
mean,
Vegas is gonna sell out, no.
just off of the tourism alone,
All
and
right, but that's what I'm saying.
and the
Like, you're gonna sell
loyalty
out
base of
other teams.
the franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I just said. That's what I just said. When you see, like, when you got a team like Dallas come through, you know what I mean? Like, oh, Dallas is a team that got fans all over the country. It's not just Texas.
No,
you know what I mean?
it's fucking Vegas, bro. So that's what I'm saying is that, like, no matter what, they're gonna sell tickets. Like they set themselves up to be the NFL's fucking Knicks. You know, like,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, maybe you're right. I don't see it that way.
you know,
I don't
like
see it
we
that way.
don't as an MSG for a Knicks game. It's like almost 50-50.
Yeah, well, I mean, your brother went to a game, I believe, last year or the year before that in Vegas. They all similar to what you're saying in that thing, but it was against the Steelers, and stadium was
But
packed with
100%.
Steelers fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see the Vegas Raiders getting that fandom that they're looking for from their city until they start making these moves to get themselves better. You know what I mean? And, you know, maybe this move right here is a step in the right direction if they could hit on what they're getting. You know what I mean? Mendoza, he's clear. He's a first round pick, you know, looking like the best quarterback in the draft. But is he really? We won't know until he's actually playing games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it one of these other guys that might go? Somebody that was not as ranked as high, you know what I mean? Or not considered to be one of the best, you know what I mean? Maybe they'll go, you know, and now, you know, their opportunity and what's built around them is better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Baltimore is a legit comparison. You know what I mean? They got Lamar Jackson at the end of the first round. Nobody wanted him. They took him. Then they seen his skill set and said, "We're gonna build around your talent." They didn't build around a system. Like, here, you have to fit our system. This is what we're teaching. This is what you have to do. You know what I mean? They built around his talent, his strengths, the things that he could do. You know what I mean? And you know, rode that athleticism and that skill, you know, to carry them to be a formidable team. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, just what we seen last year is like, you know, the end of what was the Harbaugh era, you know what I mean, in terms of maybe creative differences or game plans and things like that, you know. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they went in a different direction, but, you know, other teams gotta, you know, do the same if they want to, you know, move with this new age of football, you know what I mean? And quarterback center and athleticism and RPOs and fucking, you know, things that we're seeing week in, week out, you know, even in the college game, you know what I mean? I think that RPO really started in college, you know what I mean? And then as you got some of these quarterbacks that were so good at it in the college level, that you've seen NFL teams now using it to their advantage with those same type of quarterbacks, you know what I mean? So RPO meaning being run play option, you know what I mean? You know, so that's it. So, but I think that's it for the sports aspect of it all this week. We're gonna keep the politics out of it, you know what I mean? But we're not gonna keep the beef out of it, boy. You know what I mean? Pause on that.
Now you see.
Are entertained? Are you not entertained?
All right, so we're gonna get into a little beef talk real
Is this
quick.
not why you are here?
Word. It's almost like a
Last
gladiator.
couple of weeks, we've seen a beef brewing between T.I. and 50 Cent.
Facts.
I have listened to T.I.'s diss songs, or at least like 4 of them, I believe. But when it comes down to 50, I have not. But you just informed me that he is on Max B remix, apparently.
Yes.
Dropping subliminals.
Yes.
Yeah, how does Jones feel about the 50 T.I. beef, bro?
I mean, I'm with it. You know what I mean? I like hip hop beef as long as like nobody's dying and shit. You know what I mean? I like the sparring. I mean, you know what's the weird part about it is like when you think of all genres of music, hip hop is the only genre that does this really and shit like that. You know, like Britney Spears wasn't dropping Christina Aguilera diss tracks and shit like that. You know what I mean? She wasn't saying like fucking Christina Gags and shit like that on Cox and shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that level of fucking hate like in any other genre of music. But here,
Well, not even that, like it being specifically like 2 older rappers too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Well,
so
I
in
mean,
respects to it, it's like a fucking country artist, literally. Like, I don't know any old country artists like that. It's like Willie Nelson fucking dropping a diss song
on
to,
golf
I don't
course or some
know.
shit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now, you know
Yeah,
what I
now
mean?
though.
Like,
No,
you know?
yeah. 25 years later and
I
shit
never
like
fucking liked you.
that. I never liked this
Boom.
nigga. Hell no.
Yeah. It's like,
Facts, yo.
he's like
Yeah.
smoking a joint and shit. He's like, I
Word.
never fucking liked you. like,
Word.
you know?
But like, but you know, I mean, you see, like 50, I fucks with 50 hard. You know what I mean? Big Queens vibes. You know what I mean? Like, he's a fuck you, I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say type of player. You know what I mean? And I respect that. You know what I mean? I respect that. He's with all the smoke. You know what I mean? But you know, at the same time, when that happens, sometimes you bring on too much smoke, and you know, it forces you to get on a Max B remix. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we've seen here. You know what I mean? I think the beef started where he came out with a post. You know what I mean? Of Tiny, who's T.I.'s wife. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think
He really,
T.I.'s
he likes,
son King is the one that started with the responses back. You know what I mean? And then maybe crossed the line when he's like doing some sort of thing online with a shirt on that has 50's moms on it who passed. You know
Jesus.
what I mean? Dad's moms. And then you have Rick Ross commenting on it like, "Yo, little bro, I need one of those shirts," type shit. You know what I mean? And then then you have Ti like, "I respect and I'm happy my son stood up for his moms and shit like that." But maybe he
Yeah.
might have crossed the line in like a podcast. He says that, and then 50 is like, "Man, fuck you niggas." You know what I mean? Like, it's still fuck Tiny, it's still fuck T.I., and it's still fuck you, little nigga, also. You know what I mean? And then we see the diss tracks, you know,
Yeah.
of T.I., like, nah, fuck that, nigga. You don't want this smoke. You don't want these bars. You nigga, go make a commercial or some type of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now we see 50 maybe, getting ready to gear up to step into that. You know what I mean? Because I mean, at the end of the day, let's be real on what 50 is. You know what I mean? 50 is all about the smoke. He came in with How to Rob. He had a bunch of like mixtape songs dissing 50 Cent and I mean not 50 Cent, dissing Ja Rule, dissing Sticky Fingers, dissing Wu Tang. You know what I mean? And came up like that. Got shots back from Jay-Z, shots at Jay-Z, got shots back from Big Pun. You know what I mean? Like, he's built on this, came at the locks, came at, he's always been about this. And, usually when there's beef, 50's dropping. You know what I mean? So maybe this is what we needed to hear 50 to come out the window, you know what I mean, and step back into the booth, because it wasn't just him prior to this. It was fucking
I am not
Fab and
defending 50
Mano.
Cent at all. At all. You're not going to hear any defense of 50 Cent until he actually drops a song.
Yeah, that's
At
what I mean.
all.
Because
you're not dropping, you're not getting on a feature and dropping subliminals. That's lazy ass shit. Get in the fucking studio and make a goddamn fucking song. Because you ain't worth shit if you can't.
Yeah, well, if you can't, then then you might as well just bow out of the rap game.
Wrap it
you
up.
Know what I mean?
Wrap
here and
it
there,
up.
come on a track if that's what you want to do. If you want to do a remix or whatever, like
rappers
that
don't rap ain't rappers. I'm sorry.
Word.
You're literally just a talking box. Like I
and a fucking and a meme
let's stop acting like his opinion counts on everything. That's my gripe with it. Is that like when you're doing that and you have a high opinion and you talk shit about everyone, then everyone's gonna look at you a certain way, bro.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying, like in this music shit, T.I. is still dropping music. You know, like wrong person to jab at.
Right.
You know, because the last couple of picks have been good picks because they mostly were weak sauce. Outside of Fat Joe, you know what I mean? But like even then, I think that Fat Joe was more or less an environmental fucking thing. How do you especially at that time have a fucking beef with 50 Cent? 50 Cent owned New York. This be stupid business. You know what I mean? But like any person that was actually with it, like he squashed that beef immediately.
All right. Well,
the whole Jada
well, you know
shit,
what?
You know what I mean? Like or D Block in general, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, on the other podcasts where Fab and Jim Jones and Dave East and Mano and shit like that, they all came out, they all dropped their own track. Well, it was just one long track, but it was just like from switching from 50 beat to 50 beat. You know what I mean? And they all got their bars and went off on some sort of 50 track and whatnot. And he didn't really come outside to play with those niggas neither. But he made a comment like, nigga, like I'm gonna let y'all rock right now because I'm handling some business. But don't think I'm not gonna come at y'all niggas. You know what I mean? So maybe hopefully this little Max B remix that we've seen right now, where he has some shots, is the introduction to him coming back outside. Like, nigga, I'm with the shits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's see if that happens. You know,
listen. I wish that this is a little bit of inspiration, bro.
Yeah, me too.
Know?
Me too.
Because the last fucking thing that I
just
remember,
to even make music in general, even if it's not just
man.
Track,
like,
let me hear something, bro. Bring it. It's about to be the summer, nigga. You got summer banging. I get money I got. Come on, nigga. Let me hear something, bro.
Yeah.
Bring Queens back, man. Bring Queens back, man. I'm Queens 50. I've been on it since the mixtape 50. You know what I mean? That mixtape whole 50 era that dropped is like prime, Bronx living for me. You know what I mean? Where I'm outside and I'm just actually, have the all these mixtapes at my grasp. Something that I didn't really have in Queens from where I was at in Queens until I moved to the Bronx and whatnot. So I knew about 50 from Not Like Me, from the Guess Who's Back tape. You know what I mean? Before, not Power of a Dollar. I didn't know the Power of a Dollar 50, but after that, you know what I mean? I knew 50, so.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he's writing all of these shows and doing all these things, you know what I mean? Obviously, he still could write something, you know what I mean? So hopefully he'll be able to spit these bars. But I'm with it. I'm with the smoke. He got a week. Of,
I think he's past that expiration. This is his week.
No, but I'm talking about.
I want it right now. You know
no. I mean, in terms of us, next episode, next week. You know what I mean? To talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully next week we'll be talking about how 50 went crazy and dropped some shit. You know what I mean? And fucking, you know what I mean? Put some bars out. Went on fucking. Went on went over T.I.'s beats and dropped like 40 bars real quick. You know what I mean? Just spanking this nigga like, oh, that'd be fire. Yeah,
because it's not even like he necessarily like he had wordplay back in the day. Like he had bars. You know what I mean? Like his double entendres were crazy. Like So the dude knows how to fucking rap. You know, to say he doesn't know how to rap would be a huge fucking lie. You know, so I look at it like if this doesn't inspire him, I don't know what the fuck will. You know, like it's still T.I., bro. You know, there's few Southern rappers that I like more than I like T.I. You know, probably have like I don't know Scarface, fucking Big Boy Andre 3000, maybe Juicy J. You know, there's a couple other Southern rappers that I really fuck with, but like
Scarface.
Ti when it comes down to actual like albums that I own a lot of T.I. albums. So you know, like I actually
T.I.
he was dude's career. You know,
T.I. was he wasn't really necessarily one of my favorites from down south.
No, it's a vibe, bro. It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's
the same thing with all the like same thing with 3-6, different vibe, like the different flavors. You know what I mean?
Where
you a trippy guy. That's you like the Outcast. You an Outcast guy. I know you.
Yeah, Outcast. You know, of course, Scarface. I like Luda. Yeah,
I feel you.
Juvenile. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Facts. All right, bro. But that's another one in the books, man. We see what's up next week, man. And that's it. You that guy, man. Love you, my brother. We tapped in. Facts.
Stay good, stay blessed. And to all the people watching right now, we love you. And we'll catch y'all next week.
Yeah, go outside, man. It's beautiful. If you in NYC,
go catch
outside,
that weather.
Man. Don't
open up your fucking window and stick your head out.
We was happy you stayed inside watching us how you were supposed to do. You know what I mean? Even though you could have put it on the phone.
They could be like on a bench or walking in the street or whatever, watching this live.
Now,
right now.
Get outside, man. Now get outside.
You know,
man.
you don't have to off the jump try to judge our viewership like that. That's kind of fucked up. All right, guys, we love you. All right, we'll catch you guys later.
Facts. Later, bro.